Indiana's #1 Honda dealer welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Day sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that your weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, as we are so fond of saying each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, if you did not, good Lord willing, you will still be here when the next one rolls our way, and you will have the opportunity to try it all over again. We start today's show talking about a couple of big fights that are going to be on the horizon surrounding COVID-19 and the vaccinations that the world and obviously America is pinning its hopes on as far as beating this illness. Don't know how many of you noticed, but last week the EEOC, also known as the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, issued a ruling that says employers can require employees to get the COVID vaccine. And if they don't, employers can prevent employees from working. The agency said that requiring the vaccine would not violate the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1980. You may remember when this act was passed, it barred employers from requiring medical exams that seek information about a potential employee's physical or mental health. As a matter of choice, obviously, some employees may not wish to get the COVID vaccine, but the EEOC says an employer can prevent someone from working if they have not received the vaccine. According to EEOC guidance, if a vaccine is administered to an employee by an employer for protection against contracting COVID-19, the employer is not seeking information about an individual's impairments or current health status, and therefore it is not a medical examination. There are many reasons that may explain why an employee has not been vaccinated, which may or may not be disability related. Employers requiring you as an employee to get this vaccine is considered by many to be one of the fastest ways to inoculate large numbers of Americans. Public health experts have said they predict employers will play a key role in helping bring the nation to a critical degree of widespread immunity as these vaccines become more and more available. Still, with permission from the EEOC, employers must be cautious about any information that may be gleaned from pre-screening questions, which the government says must be job-related and consistent with business necessity. If an employer initiates a mandatory vaccination policy, the EEOC says there is likely going to be some pushback. You think? A requirement for employees to receive the COVID-19 vaccine could play an important part in combating the virus. And while vaccines are considered one of the most crucial tools to halt the spread of the disease, as I'm sure you know by now, just last month, a Gallup poll found that less than 55% of Americans said that they would willingly take the COVID-19 vaccine. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that we've heard the last of this fight. As a matter of fact, I could see this probably going all the way to the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, if that fight wasn't enough, you can expect another fight over the COVID-19 vaccine to materialize sometime soon. Do you remember the name Andrew Yang? Ran for president in the last election cycle as the Democrats went through the weeding out process of some, 17 candidates, I think, that were vying for the Democrat nomination. Andrew Yang was one of those. And last week, he proposed a barcode program so that Americans could prove that they had received the COVID-19 vaccine. Quote, "Is there a way for someone to easily show that they've been vaccinated, like a barcode they can download on their phone?" There ought to be. To have mass gatherings like concerts or ball games without either mass adoption of the vaccine or a means of signaling. He also, in this interview, said that I'm not the only one that's proposing some sort of mechanism where Americans can readily prove that, yes, I've had the COVID-19 vaccine. Other progressives are floating any number of other verification plans. Anit Mukherjee for the Center for Global Development says, quote, "Some sort of technology is needed to verify whether people have had the vaccine, and it's almost a certainty for a return to normal." Here's what really struck me about his interview. His quote continues, there would be gatekeepers, as I call them, at different places, be it at your workplace or your office when you go in, or a stadium to watch your favorite team play. They would require some form of assurance that you've been vaccinated. His argument is that this mandate, being able to prove that you've had the COVID-19 vaccine, is needed, quote, for the greater good. Here's the scary part for me, and I don't know if this was a Freudian slip. I don't know if he's given us the heads up, but his quote concludes with this: we need to think of how we approach this in a very careful manner, but also understanding that this is the future. Here's the rub, quote, there will be other pandemics, and we need to be prepared. There will be other pandemics, and we need to be prepared. Does this guy know something the rest of us don't? Ironically, he says he developed a plan when he worked in India's Department of Finance, and that plan could be unveiled, rolled out, implemented in America, quote, in a matter of months. You know what is so ironic to me? It is the Democrats that justify abortion, and have done so for years, by claiming loudly and proudly a woman has the right to abort a baby because my body, my choice. Let that sink in. My body, my choice. Or does that only hold water when you're killing babies? My body, my choice. If I decide, for whatever reason, I don't want the shot, if you get it and you're protected, where's the problem? Like I said, battling the virus is one thing. There are two battles on the horizon that are going to be fought, and they're going to be big ones. Should your employer be able to tell you, man, I love your work, you're a valued member of the team, but unless you take the shot, can't work here. And if you want to go to a concert, want to go to a game, want to go to a movie theater, whatever, papers, please. Prove to me that you've had the shot. Who would have ever thought, in the land of the free and the home of the brave, in 2020, papers, please. If ever you wonder about the state of our republic, wonder no more. It is Monday, and it's time for our very first break of today's show. When we come back, speaking of 2020, yeah, it's time for another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. First break, we're back with more on today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I
couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Get 0.9% financing for 60 months on every new 21 Mazda, plus 90 days deferred payments during the season of inspiration at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. If you are new to the show, new to the station, what have you, we, as 2020 unfolded, and actually it goes back prior to 2020, because it is a troubling trend that we've noticed in our country these days. Just when you thought we as Americans couldn't get any more stupid than what we already are, just keep breathing, keep reading, keep watching, and it won't be long before you realize, wow, that's even more stupid than the last stupid, which is why when you make this segment of the show, it's not S-T-U-P-I-D, that's regular stupid, S-T-O-O P-I-D, stupid, that's a whole nother level. We start in New York. As you might imagine, New York initially hit real hard with COVID-19. And of course, recently there was another surge in cases in COVID-19. And as is the case all across the length and breadth of this grand republic of ours, businesses are hurting. Small businesses more so than any others. Razor-thin margins of profitability, trying to stay alive, lockdowns, business curtailed, employees affected by COVID. Despite all of this, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, tone deaf as he is, has decided to go ahead with a planned increase in the minimum wage. The New York Department of Labor announcing last week that it will move forward with their plans to hike the minimum wage on December 31st. Under their phased-in minimum wage increase, businesses in New York City are already required to pay workers a minimum of $15 an hour. On December 31st, the minimum wage in Long Island and Westchester County will increase by $1 an hour to $14 an hour. And the minimum wage across the rest of the state will jump from $11.80 an hour to $12.50 an hour. Under normal circumstances, you could maybe make the argument for increasing the minimum wage. I mean, after all, I'm sure every person watching right now knows cost of living in a city like New York is substantially higher than, say, a city like Baton Rouge. But the National Federation of Independent Businesses that represent small and medium-sized businesses are questioning whether this man has lost his ever-loving mind. Recent poll by the NFIB, National Federation of Independent Business, shows 39% of small business owners in New York say they could very easily be out of business in the next year. So let me get this straight. Round it off. 40% of businesses there, small businesses, say they could be out of business in a year. And you think it's a good idea, with the lockdown going on, fewer customers to sell your goods and services to, you think it would be a good idea to force employers that are already hanging on by a thread to have to fork over $1 more an hour to employees. Never mind the fact that if you're going to increase the wage for minimum wage workers, do you not also have to then give an increase to those in managerial positions? If the guy working fries is making $15 an hour, then what about the person who manages the guys and girls on the grill and the guy on fries and the guy that cleans the shake machine? Well, that guy never works anyway because the machines are always broken, right? So forgive me. In the midst of a freaking pandemic, when you've locked these businesses down, shut down their livelihood, you think it's a good idea to force them to have to swallow an increase in the minimum wage? Yeah, you guessed it. Now that's just stupid. Of course, now it's not the first time Andrew Cuomo has done something stupid, and in all likelihood, it probably won't be the last time. While we're talking about government and stupid things, and speaking of ain't the first time, won't be the last time, we now find out on the federal level that the Department of Energy has spent $500 million of your tax dollars on the Crescent Dunes plant in Nevada. This plant is awarded the Golden Horseshoe Award for outlandish and outrageous use of your taxpayer dollars. The Department of Energy spending as much as $510 million to fund this solar energy company that has now filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy without ever becoming operational. $510 million of your money, and they never became operational. The Crescent Dunes solar plant received $737 million in guaranteed loans from the Obama administration as part of the 2009 economic stimulus, which included a settlement with the Department of Energy that left you and I, taxpayers, on the hook for nearly $235 million in outstanding debt. They then received an additional $275.6 million from the Treasury Department in 2017 as part of the Treasury Department's 1603 program. That allowed payments made for specific energy properties in lieu of tax credits. Yet another example of your tax dollars hard at work. This plant promised all sorts of green jobs and electricity provided at rock bottom rates. And here it is, after $510 million of your dollars, and the darn thing never became operational. What's that old saying about I'm from the government and I'm here to help? Listen, y'all, if you haven't learned by now, I guess you never will, and either you are incapable of learning or you simply don't want to learn. Government is not the answer to your problems, y'all. Government is the problem. You know, it's real easy to spend $510 million of somebody else's money when you're not accountable for it. It's real easy to get addicted to what we call opium. No, not the narcotic. OPM, other people's money. Opium. $510 million of your money. And at the time that this money was allocated to this company, they had one customer. One freaking customer. And that customer ended up dropping them because at the end of the day, the damn thing never became operational. And yet, that giant sucking sound you hear, that's the government pulling money out of every single check you make. And yet, they're the government, and they're here to help. If you buy that line, I got a gorgeous mountaintop beachfront chalet in Bruley, Louisiana. I'll let you have real cheap. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get her done. Talk more next on the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay close.
termites. Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At Team Toyota, Toyotathon is underway. It's your chance to save during our biggest sale of the year. Get our lowest prices and our lowest payments on every new Toyota. Plus, get a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Toyota. Right now at Team Toyota.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, I don't know what it's going to take for Americans to wake up and realize the state of affairs in government these days. Now listen, y'all, I understand. I understand full well. Clarence, you got to realize we got COVID-19, we got unemployment, I got my children still at home, and they can't go to school, and all that. I got all this on my plate. I get it. I understand. But part of the price of admission for being a citizen in this country is riding herd on those we elect to represent us. And quite frankly, there's really no other way to say it. You and I have done a miserable job at that. You have probably heard by now that congressional leaders have hashed out this long-awaited next round of coronavirus aid. And of course, Congress being Congress, they've combined the $900 billion COVID-19 aid package, along with the $1.4 trillion omnibus spending bill. Let me share with you some of the things that have been revealed. Oh, and by the way, like the Affordable Care Act, it is anticipated as massive as this bill is going to be, members of Congress will have a few hours to read it before they vote on it. Well, yeah, but we already know. They told us before, you got to pass it to know what's in it. Does that ring a bell? Of this $900 billion, $286 billion is slated for direct economic benefit for regular folks. Unemployment insurance, $120 billion. It will give those on unemployment $300 a week additional unemployment through March 14th, instead of the $600 a week that you were receiving as of last July. It will also extend pandemic benefits for gig workers and extends the maximum period for state-paid jobless benefits up to 50 weeks. The direct payments, $166 billion, will provide a $600 direct payment to individuals making up to $75,000 a year, and $1,200 for couples making up to $150,000 a year. $325 billion will be dedicated to small businesses. The Paycheck Protection Program, $284 billion. That will revive the Paycheck Protection Program, which provides forgivable loans to qualified businesses, especially those that were hard hit and received the PPP grants. You'll be eligible for a second round. Vaccine testing, healthcare providers, $69 billion. Schools, $82 billion. Rental assistance, $25 billion. Food and farm aid subsidies, $26 billion. Child care, $10 billion. Then it starts to get a little dicey. When I saw this, I just kind of shook my head, said, well, it is government and it is other people's money. Get this. In this COVID relief bill, it will forgive, wipe off the books, a $10 billion loan to the Postal Service. It will forgive a $10 billion loan to the Postal Service. Also included in the coronavirus relief bill, $10 billion for the 46 Army Corps of Engineers flood control, environmental, and coastal protection projects. Now listen, I'm not saying this is not important stuff. I mean, we here in Louisiana know better than most about the urgency of coastal erosion, protecting our fisheries and our wetlands. We get it. But why is $10 billion for this included in the coronavirus relief bill? Are the plants coming down with COVID in the water on the coastline? Are the fish dying in record numbers from COVID-19? $10 billion for water projects. Now, just the coronavirus relief bill, not talking about the omnibus spending bill for all of government, just the coronavirus measures. 400 pages. And they will have a couple of hours to read it before they vote on it. Now you know why I ask. When are we going to wake up in this country and realize what is going on in Washington? You know, I understand the sentiment, the argument, the philosophy. Clarence, you got to understand, man, it's 2020, and with all this stuff going on, we can't keep track of everything. This is your money, y'all. This is our money. How in God's name do you craft a 400-page bill and vote on it after a couple of hours? And what is literally adding insult to injury in this? How many months have we been waiting on this bill? How many people in this country have lost pretty much everything they have waiting on these clowns up in Washington to be about the business of taking care of the people's business? How many people in this country have given up, some committing suicide because of such dire circumstances, waiting on these freaking yahoos to get off their butts and do right by the American people? And then they have the nerve, the unmitigated gall to go before the media. Well, we're not going home until we get this thing fixed. You damn well ought not to. You say it as though it should be some badge of honor. Well, if we got to be here for the whole weekend before we can go home for Christmas, well, by golly, that's what we're going to do. All you're going to do is come up with 400 pages just on the stimulus bill of gobbledygook. You're not going to read it all. You're going to vote on party lines so you can get that freaking monkey off your back. Then you can go back home to your constituents and bless our little old hearts. We just going to thank them for doing what they did for us. Really, America? Really? You know, Donald Trump popularized the phrase, drain the swamp. But with every passing day, watching our government fail so very miserably, I'm becoming more and more of the opinion, it's not time to drain the swamp, it's time to burn the whole damn forest down. You ever notice California every year, when they have the devastating wildfires, and the media, you know, they give us the old pan shot with the camera, all this black, all this desolation, all this burn up, this, that, and the other. What happens shortly after that? The green sprouts come out. Everything blossoms. Nature reinvigorates itself, and it starts over. More and more and more Americans are of the opinion we are closer than we've ever been and closer than we ever should be to watering the tree of liberty. If you don't know what that's about, duck it. You'll find out. Final break of today's show. Come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up the Monday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bug Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican, the Clarence Bug Show. The only thing missing is you.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I saw a couple of stories over the weekend that truly saddened me. You know, as we head into this holiday season, considering from whence we've come in 2020, battling COVID-19 and the mental stresses that come along with it and everything else. It's truly sad that in one weekend, the number of fatal automobile accidents we've had, and sadder still, the number of them that resulted in a fatality due in large part to individuals not taking that second to 2 seconds to put on a seatbelt. Sir Isaac Newton taught us all early in life that an object in motion tends to stay in motion. And of course, for those of us who have not been in a classroom setting for many years, it has been upgraded, and I only know this because my daughter informed me of it. But an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless and until it is acted upon by an external source. Meaning, at 30, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, if you hit something in your car and you are not properly restrained, if you are thrown from that vehicle and encounter an object like, I don't know, telephone pole, tree, another car, that is the external force that will stop, quote, your motion. Whatever it is that stops your motion, it ain't gonna be good for you, Captain. Something as simple as putting on a seatbelt. And you know, what a sad commentary that here in Louisiana, we still are one of the highest states in the Union with non-compliance when it comes to something that ensures our own safety. Listen, if you've ever been in a bad enough car accident and you weren't buckled up, you are painfully aware, I'm sure, of the forces at play. And most sensible people, if you've ever been in that position, they don't have to tell you anymore that you need to take a second and put that restraint on. Just imagine a family this holiday season, after making it through, arguably, the scariest thing many of us have ever gone through, a pandemic. Getting through that unscathed, only to lose your life for something that was totally within your control. There are so many things in life that we can't do a darn thing about. There are so many things in this world that are completely beyond our control. English teachers, here we go, in 3, 2, 1. That ain't one of them. It's such a simple thing, and maybe that's why some of us have such a problem with it, because it's so simple. Clarence, I don't want the government telling me what I can and can't do in my car. I understand all that. But understand this, my friends, this ain't about government. This is about you and your loved ones not having an empty seat at the table for Christmas dinner. This is about you being there for your child's graduation, being there for your child's wedding, being there to help your children and your loved ones get through the trying times that are still ahead of us. Again, there's a whole list of things, too long to mention, that are completely beyond our control. But when it comes to something as simple as ensuring your own safety, we continue in this state to fail miserably. You know, it's estimated that at only 30 miles an hour, if you are not properly restrained and your head hits the windshield at just 30 miles an hour, it's estimated the pressure on your forehead when you contact that windshield is in the neighborhood of 3,500 pounds of pressure per square inch. Now, I know a lot of hard-headed people. I'm in Louisiana. I'm from here. I know a lot of hard heads, but I don't know any whose heads are that hard. 3,500 pounds of pressure per square inch. And that's just at 30 miles an hour. We're better than that, y'all. We're better than that. And if nothing else, if you cannot, will not, for whatever reason, do it for yourself, do it for your loved ones. You may not care whether or not you're here tomorrow. You may not care whether or not you're still here for Christmas dinner. You may not care what Clarence or anybody else got to say about you and your seatbelt. But your family, I'm sure, and I don't know them, and I'm not a betting man. Y'all know that. But I'll bet you $10 to a donut, your family would much rather be planning what are we going to have for dessert after Christmas dinner than planning a funeral for you. Come on, y'all. I know for a fact that we are better than that. And it shouldn't take, after all these years, me asking you to do the right thing. Unfortunately, there are going to be families this holiday season that are going to have an empty chair because of something that was completely within the control of a loved one. Little heads up, this week, a short week. We'll be with you tomorrow. After that, a little brief hiatus, and of course we will do the same thing for the week of New Year's as well. That being said, as is customary, this time of day, I give it to you. America, we're not perfect, but doggone it, for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, I know by now you've gotten the memo. You understand he loves you dearly. And I hope you know, even if it's in the smallest of terms, that I do too. Then again, really doesn't matter because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.